Hello and welcome back to Green Street Elites, another edition of Squad Rotation. So, rotation does happen, but we have a returning champion from last week, Mama Flossie. Welcome back and thank you
Thank-
for joining me again this week.
Thanks very
And
much.
we also have representing Arsenal, we have
Arsenal.
our good friend Anthony. How are you, mate? All right?
I'm not too bad, Budgie. I'm not too bad.
Good.
Obviously we got our game tomorrow in the Champions League, but obviously we scored seven
Yeah.
goals. Play the young ones. Even if we go out there, we lose 2-3-0, 7-4 in aggregate, I'll take it just to go into the quarterfinals. So
Yeah. So that sounds to me like you've got as much interest in your academy players as we have at West Ham, and that's a good thing. I mean, we don't often hear many of the Arsenal fans talking so much about the academy, and we'll get onto that a little bit in a minute. Anthony, Mama,
yeah.
thank you for joining us again this week. I know you were a bit of a late addition, but you kindly offered your services. We
I
are
did.
still waiting on Tony from Early Doors Football TV, my West Ham representative this week. But if he doesn't turn up, obviously I'll fill the chair. Right, so let's talk first of all about last night's game quickly. There's not a lot for me to say. Clearly, it was a great game for you, Mama Flotty. But I thought what I saw of the game, because I was involved in a darts league match. What I saw of the game, I thought we weren't actually that bad. But from what I hear from other people, we were toothless and lackluster. How did you see the game?
I thought we were awful. It just seemed to be as if it was all just being played in the midfield and a kickabout, to me to you type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think we were really lucky to get the goal. I do. Um, it was very boring, and I thought, like we're supposed to be fighting for a European position, whichever Europe thing that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, lackluster, for the want of a better word.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
urgency. I
So
can't
was
say
there a
that.
deserved winner last night then, or was it
Uh,
a lucky win, do you think?
I think it was a lucky win because I'll be honest, I think we would have been lucky to get away with a point on a 0-0 draw.
Excuse me. Yeah,
Uh,
understandable. And, that's kind of in keeping with some of the stuff that I heard from
hmm,
West Ham fans as well, is that, we were unlucky not to get the draw. I
yeah,
think that was one of the lines I heard. And I mean, from what I saw, we could have quite easily have had the ball in the net a couple of times.
yeah.
The Thomas Socek blasting it over the bar, for example, etc. So yeah, I mean, a bit of a lackluster game. Then like I said, I didn't see a great deal of it, and what I did see of it, I was kind of concentrating on the play at the time, and it kind of at the times, most of the time, the play was with us when I was turning round.
Yeah.
And it kind of seemed okay. It seemed like it was working, but from what I gather from the second half, etc., I think we were lucky to get away with just a 1-0 loss. That's kind of what I'm hearing. That the two variants. We were
Yeah.
lucky not to get,
Tony,
unlucky not to get the draw, but we were lucky to only lose 1-0. Two
yeah.
ends of the
Tony
scale.
was very disappointed
Um,
with, obviously, with West Ham in the second half.
oh yeah, because you did
But as
the watch along with Tony, didn't you?
yes, I did. Yeah. It'll tell you how good it was. The chat was about anything else but football. We were talking about everything and anything. Um,
I get that a lot on Wednesday nights, mate. Don't worry about that.
the chat just went off on a tat. And to be fair, me and Tony were paying more attention to the chat half the time. We weren't even watching the game. You know, I just thought, and again, you know, when you think about it, Newcastle's got another trip down into London at the weekend. There wasn't a lot of fans there, etc., etc.
And you know, you've got one eye on that cup final as well. You know, and it's
I
against
believe so. I
possibly
think
the most informed team in Britain at the moment. You know, in Liverpool. You know, it's a tough ask.
It is.
But you know, in fairness, I think even probably Anthony would agree. I think most neutrals would like to see Newcastle take it. You know.
Yeah.
I think from a neutral point of view, Mama, it's one of them things where, you know, Liverpool have been adorned with silverware throughout history. I mean, I don't remember a time that Liverpool haven't been challenging for something, you know. A few years back, not very long ago, but a few years back, they had a little bit of a slow patch where they really didn't win anything. But, you know, in their history, they've had, they could fill up like all three of our clubs' trophy cabinets with the amount of stuff they've won. And, you know, Newcastle's trophy history is kind of like West Ham's patchy. You know, not particularly impressive by today's standards. You know, even though we've recently won a trophy, you know, by today's standards, it's the third-rate trophy. So, you know, not
doesn't
quite.
Matter, it's a trophy.
Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. But you know, I feel that, you know, West Ham fans have got a little something that we can just hold on to, and you know, when we jokingly sing, you know, champions of Europe and all this, that, and the other, you know, it's kind of tongue in cheek, where we don't take ourselves too seriously over it, but we're very proud of that achievement, and we would like to see, as a neutral, we would like to see the underdog take the trophy.
No, I get that, because when you won your trophy, I was jumping up and down and having a shout at the telly. I was all for it. I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
And you know, I mean, you had kind of a vested interest. You've got a few West Ham friends now, you know, and you know, it works that way. You know, I mean, if it was, you know, dare I say it, if it was Arsenal Liverpool, I'd still be cheering for Arsenal on the day, because I don't want Liverpool to win it. You know, I just want someone to kind of let them know what it feels like, what they did to us in 2006. You know, I want someone to just take that glory from them on the day. Moving on slightly.
Yeah, it would be good for us. That would definitely be good. Well, I watched the game last night as well, actually, the West Ham.
Yeah, now that was the question I was going to ask you, Anthony. Did you watch it? And
yeah, I watched it. I was multitasking, Budge. I was watching the game. I was watching Early Doors with Mama, and also I was looking at Mama's plant where she sits in the kitchen, trying to work out what plant that was. I do apologise. I put in the chat it looked like a marijuana, but it wasn't. It was a corn plant. So I apologise on that, Mama. But yeah, but yeah, it was. Mama was right. It was two teams that played poor. I personally think, Budgie, I think West Ham was a little bit too defensive in that game, if I'm not mistaken. And I think in that game as well, you can tell with Newcastle, because Anthony Gordon wasn't playing there, and I think on that left-hand side, they missed him. And unfortunately, I think he's suspended now to April, so he's not going to be featuring in the final against Liverpool.
No, he's not.
Anthony Gordon. So
that is a real shame.
It is a real shame, but it's like what we were saying, Budge. I mean, in that final, it is a final. Listen, anything can happen in a final. Anything can happen at all. And I think with Newcastle getting to that final, I think they'd be more up for it than Liverpool. Hence, how long it took. I agree. Newcastle was the last time in the final, and they won a trophy. So, if anything, if any team is going to be up for it, it's going to mostly be Newcastle, in my opinion.
I
But I
think,
did say,
also with Liverpool, the fact that, as I said, they've got such a history and they're cruising the league at the moment. I think there might be a small amount of complacency in the players on the day. And if there is, and Newcastle can capitalise on that and become not exactly a bully as such, but kind of become their nemesis, their worst nightmare. Every time they turn a corner, you've got to have someone there with them. Every time they make a run down the line, if Newcastle can cover their runners, I think you'll be okay. Gordon is a big miss, massive miss. But on the upside, you have still got not Harvey Keitel. What's he bloody name? Harvey Barnes. I know he's an actor, isn't he? You know what I mean? I was going to say, you got Harvey Keitel. If nothing
sure
else,
he'd be any good. Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes. Yeah, that's the fella. You've got Harvey Barnes, who is always a worry to other teams. That lad has got a lot about him. And it's
a good little player.
We had Thomas Tuchel in the crowd last night in the box with Mark Noble, watching any of the potential England players. And, Harvey Barnes did himself no damage last night.
No, he's
even though the team weren't great and the game weren't great, he did himself no damage last night. He didn't mess up. He created as much as he could with what he had in front of him. And I thought he'd done all right. I thought he'd done enough to catch the manager's eye to sort of say, okay, right, now let me have a look at him again in the next game. I think he did enough for that. I think Jared Bowen did enough for that too.
Oh, absolutely. He's got to get a call up.
I mean, I think, well, of course, yeah. I mean, I'm a firm believer that Jared Bowen should get a call up and maybe even the start, Now, this is an interesting point. Saka is now coming back into form. He had a little drop in form recently, and to be fair, as good a player as he is, he's had a lack of form. And I've said quite publicly that I felt that Jared Bowen deserved that place in the England squad over Saka under current performance levels and, assists and goals and stuff. I'm beginning to feel now that Saka is now fighting for that place back again. He's coming back into form. And, and in fairness, I think Arsenal have picked up a few injuries they could have done without. And, obviously your title race is finished now, effectively. But how do you see the rest of the season going? Do you think you can maintain like top three or second, Anthony?
Well, I mean, obviously, we all know that Liverpool's run away with it now. They've won the Premier League.
There isn't any doubt in that, is there?
Giving the trophy now is pointless. But
might as well.
I just can't stand when some Arsenal fans saying mathematically it's still possible for us to win the league. If Liverpool loses every bloody game, which I can't see happening, that's number one.
And Arsenal win by about 2 or 3 goals in every game.
Exactly, Budge. Yeah, exactly.
Because you've got a bit of a deficit in goal difference as well to them as well, haven't you?
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I mean, you said about second place. Do you know what? With a team that's got no strikers, I've always said it. Strikers wins you games. Defenders wins you trophies, and that's a true saying. And we've only got 1 out of 2. So regarding second spot, I tell you what, I reckon Nottingham Forest to get it. I really do. I think Forest will finish second because they're in form.
Yeah. And they're a dark horse, I did invite Yeti to come on tonight, but unfortunately, because it's a school night, his mum won't let him play out this late, No, I'm joking. But unfortunately, because of the timing of the show, Yeah, he's unable to join us, but I'd like to hear his reaction to that, and in fact, I'm going to ask him. I'll message him and find out what he thinks about that. Because that's a really interesting point. The dark horse again. Similarly to the year that Leicester won the league. The dark horse has proven to be a reliable bugger. You know what I mean? It ain't got. Look, they haven't gone lame all season at all. They've had one or two iffy results, but look at Man City the other day. Southampton already relegated. Already relegated. Mathematically, theoretically, and morally, they're already down, gone. But they go and turn over Man City 1-0. We're talking about the most expensive group of players in the world today. And they get turned over by a relegated team.
You love to see it, though, don't you?
You do, don't you? I mean, it does put a bit of a grin on your face,
It does put a grin on your face. This is the time, Budgie. Man City, they normally this time for the season, they put their foot down on the accelerator. And then they start gradually winning games, picking up points, and all this and that. And when you look at the league table, the points between us and Man City ain't a lot. And then, I thought that they can most probably get third spot. And you've got fourth spot, I still think is up for grabs. I mean, you've got the likes of us, Chelsea, and Newcastle that's still there. So the points, obviously, between us, Chelsea, and Newcastle is like what I said, is not a lot at all. And I tell you what, to grab that fourth spot,
it's about 5 between the three of you, isn't it? From the lowest points to the highest, about 5 points, which is not insurmountable.
That's right, yeah, and that's going to go right to the end of the season. So I've been saying, and people are like, hang on, what you want about? But I feel that Arsenal can finish fourth, but at the same time, I'll tell you the truth now, Bud. I think they can finish fifth or sixth. I really do. If we're
so you're not confident that you're going to maintain the second place then?
No, I'm not confident. I don't think we'll get it. That'd be Nottingham Forest, and what an achievement that is from what that manager did for Forest last season.
Well, just put it this way: if that happens, we'll arrange a little Beano up there and go and see Yeti. We're going to take him out.
Well, we could do.
If Forest finished second, we'll not see Yeti for a week.
No, we wouldn't. No, I was.
I know. We just have to go to the pub that he's in. We just have to go to the pub that he's in and
I was
intravenously feed him while we're having a party. But
listen,
if that does happen, I'm definitely gonna go and have a beer with him.
Definitely.
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, look, let's not forget, Nottingham Forest have got a fantastic history in Europe. They went from a struggling second or third division team, and then the God of gods, in my opinion. Mr. Brian Clough steps through the door and, gets them promoted, gets them up into the European places and wins the equivalent of the Champions League 2 years running. Let's not forget that. And created a monster because, let's be honest, for many years after that, Nottingham Forest were challenging for honours in the league for quite a few years during that period and not long after. So, I think Forest, who's the Forest manager now?
No.
Oh, is it Nuno?
Santos.
Yeah, Nuno.
Nuno the Spirit.
Santos.
Yeah. Nuno. Now, he was great when he was at Wolves. I thought he was brilliant at Wolves. Obviously, Tottenham was too big a job for him. Similarly to Graham Potter with Chelsea, I think. And I think perhaps, I think maybe, just maybe, Anthony, and you can give me your opinion, and please do, and if you want to barrels, do it. I think that the Arsenal job is too big for Mikel Arteta.
Oh,
I think there's far
Definitely.
too much expectation and everything else, and Mikel Arteta isn't equipped to deal with it as much as he thinks he is. I think it's a big job. Look, I have no doubt in my mind that if Mikel Arteta had been in charge of West Ham during our European campaign over that 3-year period, I've no doubt would have ended up with very similar results, if not maybe a bit better, because we would have played a little bit more expansive football than we did. I'm not saying he's a shit manager. What I'm saying is that the Arsenal job's too big for him. And the fact that he's an ex-Arsenal player, you understand why they took him on. But why, so much support for a man that's not producing the goods,
Yeah, you're right, Budge.
I don't know.
I never wanted him. I never wanted Arteta in the first place. I mean, the manager that was free at that time when we got Mikel Arteta was Carlo Ancelotti, and this was before he got the Everton job. So it would have been nice to have got Carlo Ancelotti there to rebuild the foundations, and then obviously gradually build up. We would have won something, that, and at that time, and that's a fact.
Listen, Carlo Ancelotti for me is currently the best manager in the world. For me, currently, Ancelotti is the best manager in the world.
Yeah, we could afford it.
I mean, that guy's man management skills are incredible. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
and I mean, go from a man that's not happy with his current manager. Sorry, I was just going to say, we go from a man that's not happy with to a man that's kind of getting into the flow of our new manager. I like what I've seen so far. We've had some, damning results, but in general, the team seems to be more together. We seem to be playing better football. And then we go to Newcastle, Mama Flossie, and probably would be willing to chop your hands off if you reached out to try and grab hold of Eddie Howe. Do you know what I mean? There's a manager now that obviously you've got to fight tooth and nail to get out of that job, because I think he's incredible up there. I think he's done an incredible job, and I know that many of the Newcastle faithful kind of revere him. He's probably in the top 3 of like favourite managers at Newcastle United. He's probably in the top 3. So Bobby Robson's got to be up there.
He's the best, Bobby, definitely. But believe it or not, we do have Eddie Howe out as up here. We do have them where every time we lose, they want him gone. He doesn't know what to do. His tactics are crap, and just the usual. But it's every time we lose, and he hasn't got a clue about subs and blah 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 blah, all the time. It is what it is.
Exactly that. And you get the kind of feedback on your manager that we do about ours. I mean, obviously Anthony hears all the negatives and the positives, the ones that love him and the ones that hate him, etc. Like we do, like I do with the Lopetegui, the Moyes, and now the Graham Potter. It unfortunately, or fortunately for us, we don't really hear too much about like the Newcastles, and I couldn't tell you whether Man United fans are interested in their manager or not, and I couldn't tell you if Liverpool fans like their manager or not, because I haven't really spoken in depth with any of those other than Fuzzy, and Fuzzy sort of seems to be a little bit on the fence still, as far as is Amarin. Yeah, Amarin.
Yeah.
as far as Amorim's concerned. I think Fozzie's still kind of on the fence with him. And he's really the only Man United fan I've spoken to in months and months and months and months. So, we're kind of a little bit detached from what happens in quite a lot of the other clubs. I hear a lot about Arsenal because I've got family that support Arsenal and I've got friends that support Arsenal. Anthony and my mate Janek over in Vietnam, Arsenal fan, So I hear quite a lot about the Arsenal bit. And I do like to watch the meltdown on AFTV at times. Especially after we beat you the other week.
I mean, trouble is, guys,
I don't like to.
He is so arrogant. When he had that interview with
I don't like to. Yeah, go on.
He had that interview at the end of the game, and there was no positives that come out of his mouth at all. And then when the interviewer turned around and said, "Well, look, there's so many points between you and Liverpool. Is the league over?" And he went, "No, not answering." And he just pissed off Arteta. He couldn't even answer that one simple question. And I just feel that we're based on a bag of lies at our club. I mean, we've been lied to. It turned out in the January transfer window.
That shows the man can't be honest with himself, let alone his fans.
Exactly. And I can't wait until this new director, Berta, that company, the Atletico Madrid ex, not chairman, but what they call it, the chief board. I can't wait till he comes in, because I'll tell you something now. If next season, if Arteta doesn't start performing, winning the games that he should be, and at least pick up one trophy, he's gone, because this guy don't stand no messing about.
Oh, yeah,
I am so sorry, guys. I have been completely ignoring the chat, and I do apologise. So I'm going to just take a couple of minutes out just to say hello to some people. Really apologise, guys and girls in the chat. So, right, we got Brendan or Toa, evening Budgie and panel, and the chat. Aces, good evening, sir. And I was just saying hi to you, Mama. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on. This isn't responding as quickly as it should.
YouTube's been playing up all day, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, bugging people's streams and like lagging people and cutting people out and everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I had a bit of trouble when I was on with Jeff earlier. I kept getting rid of my volume. I had to keep resetting the volume. Bloody incredible. Aces is saying good performance from the Toon Army. Well, Mama was saying you weren't so happy with it.
No, I don't think it will. I mean, a win's a win and you'll take it, but I don't think we did anything spectacular. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Wolf is in the chat. Good evening, Simon. Thank you for joining, buddy.
It is good.
It was a pleasure having you on last week, mate. Saying hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you very much, Wolf.
The Liverpool game's going to penalties.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the actual score at the end of the?
It's 1-0 to PSG, so it's 1-1 on aggregate. They've just finished extra time, so it's going to penalties.
Oh. And where is it? In Paris or in Liverpool?
No, it's at Anfield.
Anfield.
Oh, yeah, look, Eddie Howe's there tonight. Look.
Yeah.
Probably just enjoying a Champions League game. Don't read into it, mate. Not unless Mohamed Salah's going to end up at Newcastle. Wouldn't that be fun?
Bloody hell, imagine that.
Thanks, man. what else we got? Liverpool are playing extra time now. Well, that was ages ago,
Yeah,
so
maybe.
sorry about missing that, guys. Wolfie says Anthony's tractor man. Laugh out loud. Tractor man. Right, so everybody's saying hi to look. Right, so Wolfie's saying
Yeah.
trophies matter, no matter what level. And thank you, Simon, because I agree with that mentality. And Chelsea are currently in the competition that we won, and they're expected to win it. And to be fair, I suppose that expectation is warranted, but I think Chelsea should have the desire to win it as well. And from what Simon was saying last week, they do have that desire because they will be the only club to have won all the European trophies available to a British club. So, they will be the first team to have done that. And let's hope they do, because that's another, sort of notch on the, the headboard of British football. So, yes, thank you, Simon. You're right. All trophies matter. And I suppose if you're a Tottenham fan, even the Audi. Sorry, I have to do it. I have to do it. Yeah, a bag of spice. Yeah, but no, listen, their trophy room got robbed, didn't it? The police are looking for a man running down, Tottenham with a blue and white carpet on his shoulder. Right, 3-2 victory over Bolton then for the Rovers, mate.
No, that's not my team. That's not my. I hate Bristol Rovers with a passion. I'm more Bristol City, because that's my team, Bristol City. We have Sheffield United.
I know, but you are a Bristol lad, and Bristol City ain't in that competition, so it's got to be good, isn't it? Surely, for Bristol, regardless of whether it's Rovers or City.
No.
I mean, tongue in cheek, Sunderland were to win the FA Cup, that'd be great for Tyneside, wouldn't it? Surely.
Well, most probably would, but
I'm
Mama
being a
Frosty
little bit
would like it in one way.
Yeah, I know.
That's an enemy.
I know. It's a good job she can't reach out and grab hold of me by the throat, and it really.
Yeah.
Now, what the hell? Hang on. Why that? Oh, there we go. Right. I'm still getting used to this restream thing. But I just really like the presentation of it. I think it's nice.
Just blame Yeti. Everybody does who has problems with restream. They all blame Yeti.
Blame Yeti.
Blame the Yeti.
It's your fault. Yeah, you introduced to it, mate. Pre and post season ones don't matter any during the season. Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. So the Audi Cup don't matter then. Sorry, Tottenham. And we can't brag on the Betway Cup, because even though it was because of us it was introduced, we've never won it.
I'm feeling a bit poorly.
We've never won the Betway Cup. Ridiculous. You would back a London team? Yeah, of course I would, mate. Oh, come on up. I would back up a London team in a competition that West Ham aren't in. And yeah, because if there's only one British team or one English team, I don't know. Actually, it doesn't matter. One British team, even if it was Glasgow Rangers or Celtic or Hibs or something, in the Champions League final against a Spanish or an Italian or French or Belgian team or something like that, I would be supporting for the club from the UK. That would be it. that is just me. I'm like that. I love the game of football. I'm a West Ham fan. I'm also, these days, I'm a part-time England fan when I can be bothered. When I think they're worthy of my support. I think, under what's his name? Gareth Southgate. I think they achieved some really good stuff, but it became very, dare I say it, Moyes ball. And it was really, really, really hard for any West Ham fan, I would say, to watch West Ham at the weekend and then have 2 weeks off of not being able to watch West Ham and then having to watch England play exactly the same kind of football. It was very difficult for us to swallow. And that's why I say I'm a part-time England fan these days.
Nunes has just had his penalty saved.
Yeah. Oh. Sub up, smash the likes. Thank you very much, Simon. Very kind of you to remind the people. Not an arable farmer then, Anthony. Arable farmer then, Anthony.
Farmer.
What's arable? I don't even know
No,
what
I'm
that
not a
word
farmer.
means.
I'm not a farmer.
I know what a farmer is.
Even though I sound like one, but I'm not one.
No. He don't walk round the street with a bit of corn hanging out of his mouth, riding round on a tractor, singing to sheep.
No, not on
That's
that
not
average what
Anthony.
Tony does with the pork
Right.
and you mate. No, no.
Oh, brilliant. Budgie just got a missed call from Potter. No, actually, it was my sister. I will have to call her back. Got 2 of her puppies here. Bruno Guimaraes.
Bruno
I would imagine
Guimaraes.
that would be.
Probably from the conversation earlier on.
Yeah, cracking player. Cracking player.
Oh,
he's good.
dear me, that's a second penalty saved.
Oh,
What,
dear.
from Liverpool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't actually get that on my TV. I have to watch it on my laptop. 'Cause
So they lost it, but they've gone like the FA Cup to Plymouth, and looks like they're going to go out the Champions League to Plymouth Saint Germain. So yeah, that's good.
Plymouth Saint Germain. Oh,
That's
I love it.
awful.
I love it.
Get out.
West Ham have Bowen. Indeed, we do, Simon. And, I think, as I said, I really do believe that Bowen has got to be in for a good shout for a start in England's squad. As good a shout at the moment as Saka. I think, I think there's not a lot between them, but I like Bowen's strength. I think he's got a lot of strength.
Yeah.
I think Saka relies on his agility more and his speed, whereas Bowen relies on his strength and the power he has in that left foot. I mean, I know Saka's got a wicked left foot on him, but Bowen's got a lot of power in that left foot. And that's why, that goal, that second goal in that Conference League final, that's why the keeper couldn't hold it, because there was so much power in it. And he was on the run when he hit it. So, there's pros and cons for both of them in that England squad. But for me,
there is. Yeah,
and because
I think Bowen's more of a creator than Saka. Bowen's more of a creator, performer.
Yeah, I think Saka's more direct.
Yeah,
he's more likely to run at people, and there are certain games where you want that. Like for example, France, they can't handle it when people run at them. Whereas Germany want you to. And so Bowen is more likely to be the better player in that side, in my opinion, because he can withstand the more physical challenges. He can ride them better. Saka's a little less sturdy on his feet, but equally,
definitely.
They both in with a great shout for it. And also, young Anthony Gordon as well can also play that.
Yeah,
Well.
Yeah. you
Yeah.
know.
I prefer Gordon out on the left
And
than
so,
Foden.
and you know,
I-
a fit Anthony Gordon's in with a decent shout
Yeah.
as well.
Definitely. I
Yeah.
think I prefer Gordon out on the left to Foden. Because I feel when Foden plays, it doesn't link well with Harry Kane and that. When Gordon, we noticed it in the Euros. When Anthony Gordon was playing, we were more fluent, and it was good. But with Foden, it just wasn't
But
there.
you see, for me, I know Harry Kane is achieving and has achieved so much in his career. I think it's time for him to step aside and let the likes of Ollie Watkins,
Yeah.
and maybe even Ivan Toney. You know, I'm talking about out and out strikers,
Yeah.
English strikers.
Yeah.
It's time for Harry Kane now to kind of mentor these boys and, you know, be that super sub if needed.
Yeah.
Maybe still be, you know, the national side captain, but on field captain, you would want Declan Rice doing it.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
opinion, I don't think there's another
You actually come up with a good
that
point there,
qualifies
Budgie,
to play for England.
with Ivan Toney. Who's going to be watching him? Because all they have to do is just watch videos of him, because they can't go all the way over to Dubai and watch him. So they'll just be watching videos of him, of Ivan Toney. So
Yeah,
it's one of those. I think he should get. I mean, I haven't looked at any stats of Ivan Toney over there. I don't know how many games he's played. I don't know how many goals he's scored. But you know, I mean, obviously somebody's going to be keeping an eye on that. So it does make you think. But
yeah, of
just
course.
going back to what I
But
said,
I mean,
you did
Ivan
bring up a
Toney, we know what he's capable. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we know what Ivan Toney's capable of in a red and white striped shirt, don't we? We know what he's capable of, and you know, unless of course he's fallen right off of a cliff, then you know you would think that he would still be considered. Maybe, I mean, that you know you can't deny that young Ollie Watkins has got to be in for a great shout for a starting 11 place now. That boy's proven himself time and time again at Villa, and now he's got Marcus Rashford over there with him. And let's see what happens with Marcus Rashford now. Because there's a, you know, potentially, there's a left winger that can strike a ball from 35 yards that not even a brick wall would stop. You know, I mean, that boy's got some power. I'm not particularly a big, keen fan of him. I wouldn't go to him at West Ham, but he wouldn't be my first choice. But for England, where options are limited to your nationality, I think he's a great option for the left-hand side, Marcus Rashford. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. I mean, that left wing
But
back
Ollie
would be a
Watkins
good.
definitely up front.
Yeah.
I think Ollie Watkins definitely up front. That really suits. And that really suits like the midfield that we've got at the moment. You know, your Declan Rice, for example, and you know, what's his name that plays alongside him now these days? What is his name? Yeah, Maynard. That's him, Maynard. Those two boys there, with the likes of Ollie Watkins in the centre up front, would be able to feed him. You know, oh gosh, I believe that the England squad would really benefit from that young man being put up front instead of Harry Kane.
Did you see Skelly at left back? The Arsenal left back, Skelly, the young one. Did you see him getting pulled?
Maybe, but you know. Good evening, Happy Amaret. I just wanted to say hello to a couple more people in the chat. Yeah, I think he's a decent shout. But for me, personally, I think the lad that's actually beginning to prove himself on the left side of defence is young Ollie Scholes at West Ham. I mean, the young boy's been getting plaudits from all sides, you know. So maybe they're now. You know, he's 19 years old. Got Premier League experience now. And, you know, so there's an option. But, yeah, I mean, I think currently at the moment, I think we're reasonably blessed with left backs in this country where we've been sort of deprived of them in the past, you know.
Yeah.
But I still don't believe that we'll ever have a left back as good as Ashley Cole. I mean, he's probably the best left back I've ever seen come out of England.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And sorry to say, in both red and white and in blue, I thought he was good for both teams. You know, so yeah, and yeah, it was good to see Mikel Antonio on his feet without any crutches or any aids, walking out to the touchline and greeting the fans and stuff. That was really pretty special for West Ham because, you know, there was a moment there when we didn't know whether he would live or not. So, you know, the first day when we heard it happen, within the first hour or two, you know, there wasn't any news. All we saw was a Ferrari in pieces, you know. So obviously we feared the worst, you know. But you know, we have, you know, we've had a little cheer up. He's turned up on the touchline, so that was good. Long-term injuries in Arsenal, Anthony. Got a couple of them, haven't you?
Yeah, we got a few. Obviously, with Jesus out, Havertz is out, Saka's been out, Martinelli's just recently come back. So, but I mean, out of all of them, you can tell the sort of person we're missing, and it is the boy Saka, unfortunately. So, you know, when he comes back, it'd be great. But I can't see. I think Jesus is done now, Budgie. I think it's time to sell him, sell up, and get rid of him, and we could just wish him well wherever he goes to, you know. So he's not a big goal scorer, but I think next season.
What about Kai Havertz?
I think next season he'd be a bench warmer, Budge. If Mikel Arteta can actually use his brain that he hasn't got and get a striker in, but I don't want any striker. He's got to be the striker. So I think we might get Isaac for about 90 mil. Right, Mama? No, I'm only joking. but but yeah, I think he's got to be the striker. You know, so whatever striker he's going to go for, then so be it. But yeah, but I could see Havertz just being a.
Let me throw a scenario at you. Right. It's no secret that Mikel Arteta has been interested in and is interested in Mohamed Kudus. Right now, Mohamed Kudus is technically, I would say, he's a versatile 10. Okay, can play anywhere across the pitch.
Yeah,
left and right, central. He's more comfortable on the right, I do believe, but he can play anywhere right across. So there's no secret that Mikel Arteta is interested in him. Would you accept him paying 90 mil for Mohamed Kudus? And that is the price that he would probably go for. 80 to 90 mil for Kudus and not buy a striker. But promote one from the academy.
Trouble is, though, guys, our best one from the academy is gone. He went to Man United, Ubi Martins, and no word of a lie, he scored 45 goals in 38 games in the reserves. And you know what incredible goal tally that is. And it basically just went to Man United regarding wages, because apparently Mikel Arteta didn't want to pay his. I think it was 50 50 grand a week or something like that. He went to Man United, but we only offered him 35. So a young kiddie, where are you going to go? You're going to go where the money is. So you can't blame him in that respect. But regarding Kudos, I would like him at Arsenal. And I personally think Kudos is more of a number like 9-10, what you said. I like him when he's got that free role in the middle. Kudos. I think he's brilliant when he's got that free role. So that's most probably where we would play him, because we couldn't drop Saka out on the right for Kudos. So that won't happen. So it'll be that free role in the middle. But I mean, is it the answer? I'm not too sure. I mean, he's not. We need a 20 goal. Well, player that can get us 20 goals a season plus. And Kudos, I don't think can get us 20 goals. But it's like what I said. I would like him at Arsenal because, in all fairness,
no, he might not actually score 20 goals a season, but in the right setup, he would definitely create and score.
Yeah, he would. Which is quite good actually, because we got Jorginho and Partey. Both of them are leaving on a free next season, and we need something in that middle. So Kudos will be exception for that one.
My audio cutting in out, is it?
It was. You faded in and out a little bit.
Probably when I'm not close enough to the microphone. So
YouTube's been bugging all day. Because I would have said it's like you've got a lag on you.
Turned up. Look. Hang on, here he is. Come on. There we go.
Yeah.
Good evening, Yeti. Thank you for joining us. Right, what else we got going on here? But everyone's saying I'm not.
Because I think you're lagging behind me and Anthony.
Am I? Yeah, I think it might be my internet. I'm on a mobile Wi-Fi system, and it's a little bit awkward at times.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
You're using one of the hotspots on outside.
Wolfie, who are we talking about here? Easily the best manager in the world, and he slaps Pep every season.
I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
I'll keep buffering apparently. Oh, that could be this bloody restream thing, couldn't it? Why don't I put that there, and then it's in front of me, and I ain't got to keep going like that. Right. So what's happening here? Where are we? Nearly 11 o'clock. So hit the likes, hit the subs, show some love to Don Budge. Thank you, mate.
Don Budge.
Right. Oh yeah, he's saying, I think we grab second because the teams we are playing have to attack us, which plays into our style, and that's shown this season. That has shown this season. I mean, like I said, one or two hiccups, a few losses, but every team suffers them, except for Arsenal, of course, when they do the old unbeaten season. The invincible season, that's the one. I just thought I'd get that one in before any of the Arsenal fans in the chat, or you did. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think, if it happens, mate, some of us are definitely coming to have a beer with you. But definitely, because that'll be like winning the league for not Forest. It wouldn't it? It would feel like they'd won. They got second. Come and celebrate with you. Right. Right. See, this is playing up as well. Right. On AFTV, they are calling him Don Rabbi. Oh dear.
Oh, that's a bloody big storm as well going on.
Eddie H is a victim of his own making. Got Champions League very quick. So anything less now is seen as a loss. Yeah.
Completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
The club's idea was to get Champions League after 5 years of building the team and progressing a little bit and stuff like that.
right.
Not like in the second year. That's just no.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Would you go, Mama Isaac, if you didn't
Um,
if you don't get Champions League football? Or would you have to stay?
Well, I honestly don't know, Anthony, because everything that he says is how he's happy at the club and do you know what I mean? And all of that sort of thing. In his last interview, he said Newcastle didn't have Champions League when I signed for them, so
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And he's there to help the team grow, and he's another one who says he sees his future at the club. Whether how much he means that, I don't know. If Barcelona come knocking at the door or Real Madrid, he's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
As is any player when they come knocking at the door, you know that. It doesn't matter how much you're getting or not getting. If one of them come knocking at your door, you're away. But I really, really don't know whether he would go or
No.
not. I don't.
It's same with both of our defender, Saliba. And I was watching a video earlier today, and he was asked a question about Arsenal Football Club, and he said he would love to stay here at Arsenal and win a trophy. But any Arsenal fan would tell you his head's turned because Real Madrid wants him. So when he come knocking on the door, it turns any player dead. Stunning,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
of
So
course.
unfortunately, but
you know, like it's like Liverpool fans are now talking that they're getting Isak, not you. It's Liverpool.
yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
And as I said, what you're going to do, cut him in half because he's been signing for Arsenal for the last 2 seasons.
exactly.
Anthony Gordon's going to Liverpool apparently, but there's nobody's for sale.
No. I think
The club have said financially, because we haven't bought anybody and we've been very astute over the last few transfers, we've got money to spend this season, this transfer window coming in the summer. None of the first team are up for sale. None of them. So, hi, Colin. Make of that what you will.
No, but it's good in one way because I think with your best players you've got, you pick your first 5 or 6 good players and you want to build a team around them. And then if you can do that and Eddie out can give you outstanding results, I can't see why you can't get Champions League football. So
I'm sure we will get it eventually. What I would say is that I don't think Eddie Howe will be the man to take on to that higher step. I think after when his contract's up, there might be an extension, but I think they'll be looking at somebody
else to form
a bit bigger, a better manager, however you want to put it, sort of thing. The way that the talk, like he's a gatekeeper, he's just looking after the club and nurturing, type of thing. You know what I mean?
It's a shame, really, because he's a decent manager, that Eddie.
He is. He's a good lad. He absolutely is.
I mean, I'll take him at Arsenal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Long Edge, he's saying a cup's a cup. If you're in it, you want to win it. Absolutely. And I think that, Chelsea being in the Conference League at the moment, I think if they win it, that will help again. And I think by West Ham winning it, it kind of helped a little bit. I think, again, it will help to boost the image of that competition. Because, I mean, a team like Chelsea, who are notorious winners or have been in the last sort of 15 years or more, they're notorious winners. So, for them to enter into that competition for whatever reasons and then to go on and win it, will bring it back to, bring that to the consciousness of the British public again. And then hopefully people won't be looking at it as just the third trophy. Do you know what I mean? it will be looked at more of a European achievement, and that's really what it is in essence.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of teams could follow the example that West Ham set actually by taking the competition that seriously. We went through it unbeaten, and with such a massive goal tally, a goal difference that nobody was catching us. We went and dominated every single stage of that competition, and rightfully so. We should have done, because we were on paper the best team in that competition. So rightfully so, you should be out there winning it. If you're top seed, you should be winning. And
Yeah.
Chelsea are in that position now. But it means that, the reason I'm making such a point of it is because the season before we were in it, Tottenham were in it, didn't take it seriously, got beaten by a team of fishmongers and cobblers, and they was like, yeah, but it's a shit competition anyway. And then a lot of people sort of started to believe that hype. And then when we were in it, it was still, oh yeah, but it's a shit competition anyway. We went out and won it. Yeah, but it's only the third one. But you tell that to the 200,000 plus people that are out on the streets of East London the following day. You tell them it was only the third rate cup. None of them will care what you got to say about that, because to us, it was everything, And I know that Chelsea have had Champions Leagues and everything else, but to the Chelsea faithful, I'm not talking about these fans that have just sort of come along the way recently. I'm talking about to fans that have supported the club since childhood, To them, this cup, this trophy, if they win it, should mean as much to them as their first Premier League did.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
For a club like Chelsea, with all of that behind them, this is maybe the first step back on the road to all of that again. Do you know what I mean? And that's, that competition should be viewed with as much respect as the clubs that have won it tend to look at it,
Well, but if you win that
just,
trophy, you get 8 million a year. You get 8 million for winning that cup. Sorry, right? It's silverware. It's 8 million. You look at it this way: the gate receipts,
it's a
the
street
TV
party
rights, the merchandise, everything. And I tell you what, West Ham picked up a hell of a lot of money for that final.
Yeah, and the money is great, Anthony, but it's kind of about, I mean, look, there were fans that were in the stadium watching that final that knew that the parade had been booked for the following day. Yeah. And by hook or by crook, thousands of them got back and were a part of that parade on the following day. Right. Even though they didn't leave that stadium until 11:30 that night, they were still there ready for midday-ish when that parade started. And that's what that competition meant to us. There were people on traffic lights, there were people up on balconies, like people in all the flats and the shops and everything. Like everybody was out that day. It was fantastic. And that meant more to us, the fact that we were able to celebrate that win in that way, that meant more to us than the actual win in some respects. Not to everybody, but to a lot of the old faithfuls, where we've kind of seen it with the 80 and the 75 FA Cups. It was the after party, the parade, that meant a lot to so many more, because only a certain number can get to that final. The rest of us have to either watch it on TV or listen to it on the radio or whatever the case may be. So being able to celebrate with thousands of other like-minded people means a lot to the fans, a heck of a lot. It looks like Liverpool have gone then. They've lost, yes? Is that right?
Yeah, I think they're out, aren't they, Liverpool? Yeah, I think they're out.
Yeah. Simon says Foden has no plan now. Pep basically ruined him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He goes on to say, can anyone tell us where he actually plays?
I did hear people saying, Budge, that if Chelsea don't do well this season, as in trying to get top four. Now, Wolfie can correct me, but I did read this. Apparently, Man City might go in for Palmer and try and bring back Palmer.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah.
That's
how crazy
that kind of thing happens a lot, doesn't it? I mean, look at what Chelsea did with who was the midfielder they brought back? Man United with Paul Pogba, sell him for big bucks and then buy him back for even bigger bucks, kind of thing. Oh no, sorry, it weren't a midfielder. It was Drogba. Didier Drogba. Chelsea sold him and then bought him back because he was still. Yeah, West Ham had a few boomerang players, but I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with boomerang players as long as they play with their heart for the club they're playing for.
Yeah,
that's what matters the most, And regardless, I mean, look, I'm a football fan most of all. Yes, I'm a West Ham fan, but most of all, I'm a football fan. And what I don't want to see is players wasting time, playing for the draw, allowing things to happen, like that you shouldn't be seeing. I mean, thankfully, that's all near enough extinct from the game these days. But there are still players that play time out, and I don't like to see it. I think that until that whistle blows, you've got to give it a chance, surely. Yeah, professional sportsman. Right, listen, we're going to start wrapping up. Let's get down lower into the chat because a lot of this stuff that yourself, probably because I didn't actually talk about the chat much. Oh look, DJ Crane's in the house. Good evening, DJ Crane. Didn't see you before, mate. My apologies. Do apologise. Thank you for joining us, mate. Have I missed anyone else? I don't know.
You've missed them all out, Budgie. You've yacked far too much.
You've missed them all out. Budge, I can't believe you missed that.
Drogba was a free, apparently. Drogba came back to them on a free. Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. He still came back.
Yeah.
Matic, that's another example. Right, okay, listen, everybody. We've been going for just over the hour now. So I don't want to tie up all your evening. Thank you so much for joining me again, Mama Flossie.
You're more than welcome, Budgie.
Thank you. And thank you, Anthony, for your time.
That's right,
I'm not sure who I'm going to have on next week. I haven't actually sent any invitations out yet, but I will be. So hopefully same time, same channel next week, 10 o'clock, squad rotation. We'll talk about all the stuff that we've been talking about tonight and more. And
you might even be talking about Newcastle winning something, for God's sake.
Listen, if you win, you're definitely coming back next week if you would like to. And listen, it would just be me and you can talk about the final all evening. I would be happy with it because I'll be cheering for you guys on.
I'll be a blabbering idiot. Oh no!
It'd be great. Well, it'll be great. But thank you so much, guys, for coming in and sharing time with us. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to Tony. He wasn't able to make it clearly, but maybe next week.
I'll give a bollocking
Okay.
to you guys. All
Right,
right.
everybody in the chat. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Sorry, mate.
I'll give Tony a bollocking for you for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, you tell him off.
I'll tell him.
Tell him I cried my eyes out because he
Yeah.
didn't turn up.
But you said you're an asshole, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, usual. Gang of three. That's it, mate. Thank you very much to you, Yeti. Away the lads. That's it.
Oh, you're the lad.
See,
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm getting good at these abbreviations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say.
It's like I'll chat to this guy Stuart. Yeah, go on.
I just want to say, keep it real, keep it out of me.
Oof.
Oh yeah. Right.
That's you and deep doo-doo, Anthony.
He loves it.
I chat to this guy Stuart. He calls his channel the Disabled Team, Leeds fan, and got quite friendly with him. Not really nice guy. And they kept on putting MOT, and I couldn't figure out what they were talking about. I thought they were getting their cars checked out or something. It's marching on together.
Yeah.
So I started doing a little bit of research, and I thought I'm going to find out what a lot of these abbreviations were. You know, I can't tell you what the one was that I discovered for Arsenal because I don't think I'm allowed to publish that.
Did it have an emoji with it?
But yeah, a couple of them, little bits of like brown something or other. I'm not sure what it was.
Right.
But seriously, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for everybody in the chat, and put your banana up your tractor's tailpipe, man.
Yeah, I know. I can see the heading, but I can't see the comments.
Whatever. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to take us off the screen, play us a video to come out, and I'll talk to you in a sec. See you later, guys. Thank you for joining us, everybody. See you next week, same time, same channel. Bye.
Massive!